So how much should you be charging your customers for your e-commerce business so that you can actually make a profit? In this video, I'm going to go through my profit calculator and an example of some products to show you exactly how much. Let's go. If you want to follow along, feel free to download the profit calculator in the video description below. So I have separated the profit calculator into two categories. One is for B2C and one is for B2B. B2C model is more for those that like you want to do the drop shipping, as in you get paid first on your website and then you ship the product. B2B is a little bit more risk, whereas you buy bulk of a product, store it in some kind of a warehouse, whether it's a fulfillment center, Amazon FBA, or even your private residence, and then ship the orders as you get orders on your website. You will obviously get more profits using the B2B bulk method versus a B2C because you're taking on more risk using that method. Now I'm going to be picking a random product on 1688. In this case, it's just going to be an electric bike that's kind of really popular in some countries. And I'm going to use the B2C method when I'm doing this. So you can see this is just a random electric bike I found. So you can see the different prices here. And because I am using 1688, these are all in RMB. So the top part doesn't include any batteries and the bottom parts do. Now this is important when you're doing these kinds of business because sometimes when you ship products with batteries, if you're shipping them from China to your home country, you may run into issues when it comes to customs, and the shipping can be extremely expensive. So in this case, they offer two versions, one without the battery and one with the battery. You're going to have to analyze which one is going to be more profitable if you source the batteries locally. For example, if you're sourcing the batteries from the United States, and then maybe you can get the batteries there, or if you ship it all together as like a one-stop shop. So that's something to consider. In this case, I'm just going to include the battery. Of course, it will affect the shipping from China. So you can see it's 1,499 RMB. So you start with the price of the product. Now, in this calculator, everything in yellow, it's what you're going to be filling in. And in green, it's pretty much your bottom line. So this is the cost of the product. And you can see it's all in RMB because I'm using local Chinese platforms. Now you're going to need to put the product weight. So in this case, let's just say it's 20 kilograms. Usually they would put the shipping on the website. Here in this example, the shipping is already included if you buy either this one, or this one. Let's see if I can translate it to English so you can see it better. There you go. See, it says free shipping, but the first one does not include free shipping. So in this case, the domestic shipping will be 0. This isn't the case for all of them, so be careful, pay attention. And the international cost for shipping you have to coordinate with your freight forwarder. What I would do beforehand with your shipping agent is give them the specs of the bike, and then you can see how much they'll charge you for the shipping. Usually there's like a flat rate, but I would always add maybe plus or minus 5% to keep yourself protected for the shipping. So in this case, just do 70 RMB per kilogram to include the battery. You have to also disclose this to the freight forwarder. If you have to pay any taxes, then you put how much taxes that you're going to have to charge based on the imports of your country. Every country has different rules. You can also use this for payment processing. So if you use a platform like Stripe or PayPal, they're going to charge you typically like 3 to 4% per transaction. So you can also include that there. And then you have the warehousing. This may not be applicable for the B2C method, but I put it on there just in case if you use a warehousing method with before your orders are shipped to your customer. In this case, I'm not going to use a warehouse. I'm going to be shipping it directly from the factory to the freight forwarder to the customer. And then this is where you put your profit margin. This is how much you want to make per order. So I'm just going to say if I want to make a 50% profit margin, you need to sell this in your front end website for $700, which is quite reasonable if the product is actually good quality e-bike that can be easily charged and last a long time, work well in the rain, has no safety issues, has the certifications, all that. This is not a fairly bad price point. From my experience, if you do B2C orders, you can't demand that much of a profit margin, especially if you compare the pricing of the product to other suppliers in your local area. So you can see you can play around with the different profit margins you want to maintain. Here it will tell you what the estimated profit per order would be based on your profit margin. Some people mark it up 100% and they get a pretty nice profit. Anyways, that's for the B2C. So now let's talk a little bit about the B2B method. And that's if you want to like have Amazon FBA, or maybe you have a fulfillment center or a warehouse partner in your local country, and you want to take it up a notch and take a little bit of a risk. So you're going to be buying the items in bulk, and then you're going to be selling them as the orders come in. So you're going to take a risk at first when you make the purchase, but later on the profits will be very nice. So I'm going to do the exact same product. I'm going to say it's 1500 RMB, and I'm going to buy, let's be real here. Let's probably start with something a little bit more modest, maybe 30 units. And I'm going to calculate the shipping, right? You have the domestic shipping, which is 0. Because you saw that specific supplier offers free shipping if you buy one of the more expensive models. And the weight is going to be 20 kilograms. Now, the international shipping will be a little less because you're going to be shipping in bulk. So you get to save more per kilogram versus the B2C method. They're going to charge you more because you're only shipping one item. But in this case, you're shipping like 30. So you should be able to negotiate the international shipping cost to be like almost half price. So in this case, we'll just make it a little lower. 25 RMB per kilogram. You're shipping a total of 30 kilograms. Then this is where the warehousing fee will most likely be in your situation where you need to store the products either at your house or at your warehouse, and they will charge you on average per customer, like per order, they'll probably charge you a certain amount. You're gonna have to negotiate this with your warehouse. This will be different based on what services you use, whether it's Amazon FBA or private warehouse. Then you have the import taxes or the processing fees that you use on your website. So the difference between this warehouse price and this warehouse price is that this is for the processing, like for the incoming, the accounting, the inventory of your products, and this is for the storage fees. So if you know the products are going to stay there for that long, you can put 0. Or if you know they're going to charge maybe 50 RMB every 30 days, you can put that on here for storage fees in the warehouse versus the processing. Then you have your profit margin. So as you can see here, I want to make a clear difference between the B2C and B2B. So for the B2C, when we did the first order with 100% profit margin, you can see it's 930 that you had to charge the customer on your website. But when you do B2B, let's say I want the same profit margin, right? 100%. You only need to charge 674. So you can charge a lot less because you took the risk up front to actually get the same profit margin. Actually, if you're going to be selling it for the same price, let's say for 930, you just have to play around with it a little bit until you get close to 930. Looks like I'm close. Right there, 180 maybe. Right there. So for me, if I use the same model, but I take the risk with the B2B and I sell it for 930, the same price, I actually get 167 profit margin after I sell all the products. Here I put the break-even units. So in this case, I put 30 units. You need to sell 11 units before you can actually start making any profits. So after the 11th unit is sold, all of that will be profits for your e-commerce business. So you can see the difference between doing the drop shipping and the B2B with the fulfillment warehouse. So I hope this actually broke down how you can actually calculate how much you should charge your customer when it comes to your e-commerce business idea, whether you're doing the drop shipping method or whether you're doing the B2B, buying in bulk and storing it method. Both methods work and you can test accordingly. If you're just starting out, I recommend you do the B2C method. The risk is a lot less because you don't want to buy a bunch of bulk inventory and not be able to sell it. So if you need a fulfillment center that can ship from China to your home country, if you're deciding to ever do the B2B method, you can consider watching this video right here that goes into detail with one of the partners I actually currently use.